In today's video, I will be talking to first-time buyers that are in the process of buying a home right now or have bought in the recent months and are wondering what happens if the home that they just purchased or about to purchase drops in value. So let's get started. Before we jump in and answer the question, like always, I want to talk about what's happening in the local market, national and local level in the last 2 weeks, because a lot's happening right now. So let's get to the board. Number one, you guys already know that the feds have raised their rates by 0.75% last week. Even though a lot of lenders have adjusted their rates, you're probably looking at the high sixes, maybe even the low sevens for a rate. Chairman Powell literally said that they're going to be aggressive moving forward because they have not seen the change that they want to see, and they want to see inflation down to 2%, and we're really not there yet. So you're going to probably, if I had to bet money on this, are going to see that rates will rise again in the next Fed meeting, which is coming in December. So Feds are going to continue to raise rates. Number two, layoffs. You're probably hearing, I'm recording this today, it's November 11th. Facebook just did a layoff of about 11,000 employees. Yikes. Twitter is laying off or already has laid off about 50% of its workforce. Now, that could be just Elon Musk being Elon Musk, or it's the market dictating it. We don't know, but they've laid off 50% of their workforce. Lyft has laid off people. Amazon and Facebook are holding off employment till there's further data. So a lot of large companies are not hiring, and a lot of companies are laying people off. Number three, first-time buyers are priced out. With the rates going up, we're seeing almost 40 to 50% increase in mortgage payments. So a lot of buyers that were shopping last year, didn't buy a home, a lot of those buyers are plain outright priced out or are just not comfortable with the high mortgage payment and have decided to hold back and rent for a while. Number four, mortgage apps are down by almost 50% if you compare to the same time last year. And this is a national number put out by CNBC, I believe last week, on where the mortgage numbers are right now. And us being professionals being in the industry can attest to that, because business overall, when it comes to refinancing and purchasing, well, refinances is completely out of the picture, but even when it comes to purchase applications, business is very, very slow. And a lot of lenders throughout the country are experiencing the same trend. Number five, inflation. Well, this is probably the best news on here. Inflation's come a tad bit down, 7.7%. It was around 8%, 8.2% before. And remember, like I just talked on the first point, Feds want this number down to 2%. That's what they're shooting for. And we're currently at 7.7%. So overall, the housing data, housing numbers when it comes to mortgages, people buying homes, people selling homes is lower compared to the same time last year. Overall, we're low on that. But this, what we just discussed on the board, is impacting each market a little differently. So it's very clear right now that a lot of first-time buyers are priced out. So markets that are heavily, that have a lot of first-time buyer entry-level homes in them, those are the markets that are being impacted more heavily. So for example, here in the Bay Area, Northern California, that market would be the Sacramento market, or some parts of the San Joaquin County, Gilroy area, and some areas that are tied not so closely to the Bay Area market, but are outside of the Bay Area market. Those markets are the entry-level first-time home buyer markets, and those markets are being hit harder in the sense that homes are sitting on the market longer. There are a lot more price negotiations happening outside of the Bay Area, and people are getting homes, in some cases, lower than asking price. But that's not happening in every market. Here in the Bay Area, homes are still turning a little faster, but they're selling closer to asking price, and not so much of prices going below asking price. Thank you so much for having confidence in my content and stopping by and listening and watching. Like always, I love you all. Please, if you're getting value out of this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because I love to have you here and love to hear from you. Thank you so much and continue watching. Now to answer the question, those of you that have just purchased a property this year or purchased a property, say last year, are probably watching or looking at websites like Zillow that give you a Zestimate, and you're noticing that in some cases you bought this property 3 months ago and the value is showing lower than what you paid for, and it's probably a little bit more lower if you bought it last year. So that's creating some anxiety and some worries for some people. I was actually taking a lockbox off on one of our listings, and the owners literally caught me running back to my car and stopped me to ask me this question: well, what happens if our home value drops? Well, if you've locked in a 30-year, 20-year, 15-year mortgage, nothing happens, nothing changes there. Your mortgage is locked in, your payment's not going to change. Here's how this market is a little different from the '08 market, which a lot of us refer back to that market. Well, in that market, people were getting loans by just signing a piece of paper. Jobs were not being verified. And then when shit hit the fan, excuse my language, people could not afford the mortgage payment and the homes continued to drop in value. And then people had to short sale or foreclose, which essentially means that you sold the home lower than what you got it for, and a lot of banks were not able to recuperate their value. We're not in that market, and I would say yet. We're not. This is not that type of a market. So your loan is locked in, nothing's happening there. Yes, there's an X factor here with these job losses happening. I'm not going to downplay that. If that continues to happen, and say there's, especially here in the Bay Area or markets that have high valued homes and household incomes were, say, close to 300K or 250 to 400K, and now you have one person in the home that, say, the only breadwinner in the house has lost a job and they're not able to recuperate that job quickly enough, and there's nobody else earning income, then we have a problem on our hands. But if those people are recuperating their jobs as they lose them, they're able to get jobs soon enough, maybe in a month or 2 month span, and there's also a supplemental income or a secondary income, maybe the wife or the husband's working as well. In those cases, we are going to be fine. But it's a very crucial and interesting time right now to watch the market closely to see what happens in the market going forward. It is really an interesting time, and it is a time to really pull our pants up and start working harder. Those days where people were logging in for 2 to 3 hours and getting paid for a full day, I know a lot of us were doing that. I'm guilty of that when the market was doing really well. The last 2 years, work hours were a lot less than what they are now. I'm not saying a lot of you weren't putting in the 8 hours, but a lot of us were not. So now the times are different. The work hours are going to be closer to what they're supposed to be. I know, typical work day, and a lot of people are working harder, so it's a time to sharpen your skill, stay productive. That's the best way to move forward, and watch this market very closely. That's all I have for today. Until next time, this is Karan Singh.